Hey everybody, Caleb here, and today I've got a little bit of a different kind of video. I'm going to try to start doing these at the end of each month where we do kind of a shop update and any other little things I might want to show off. There's not going to get any work done in this video, so if you just like watching the guitar repairs, here's your warning. So I thought today we'd do a little bit of a shop tour, and I think the best way to do that is to go handheld. So I've got my phone here, and we're going to go do a little shop tour around, and you'll get a little sneak peek on some projects that are coming up, and I can kind of give you an idea how the first 3 months in my shop have gone. I hope you all will enjoy just kind of taking a quick look at what's going on a little more behind the scenes on this one. So let's start our little shop tour. So I think this shop tour would start right where I sit. So this is my camera. It's a Canon something. I don't remember what the model is. I've shown it off in another video before. You can see me and my little viewfinder. This is how I do pretty much all of my recording. I usually use this light for intros and outros. Anytime my face is on screen, I use this light to help brighten it up. If I need more light when I'm doing something, I'll use this light as well. I've really enjoyed this camera. My only thing is it might need a slightly wider lens because I can't fit my whole desk in one shot. Which, speaking of my desk, you can see this is on here. This is a coming up project. This is the Kirk Hammett body that I did the matching neck for in a previous video pretty early on. I'm trying to get this done. You can see I've been scraping off the old finish. This, to tell a little side story, I bought in a group of 6 or 7 guitars. I don't remember how many it was. And most of them I turned around and sold pretty quick. This one was in really bad shape. Somebody had scraped off all of the finish. What's on it now has been an amateur attempt at refinishing it. What we're going to do now is strip this all back and do it right. It was really ugly. There were a lot of comments in the first part when I worked on the neck of why would you let something get like that? Who would do this to a guitar? I don't know. I don't want to blame anybody, but it was pretty bad. So we're going to get this in a good shape. This can be a valuable instrument. They're really nice when they are really nice. So we're going to work on this, get this up and going soon. So then I guess the next thing to do would be to start working my way out from my desk. Well, first, most of my tools are kept over here. You can see it's a little bit messy because I throw a lot of stuff over there, but my chisels and screwdrivers and pliers and reamer and all sorts of stuff is kept right here, so I can just turn and grab what I need. I've got a couple of shelves underneath my desk as well that keep my glue and Dremel and that sort of thing. You can see right here I've got my pin holder and that sort of thing. I think the next thing we do is move slightly over here. I got my paper towels here, my really nice paper towel holder, which isn't just a clamp, but it is just a clamp. You've probably seen several of these things. You probably haven't seen that one, but you've probably seen this, that, and that in a video before. This is my drill press. I got given this drill press. Grandpa gave me this drill press, and it's really nice, actually. It's got a laser guide. I really like the laser guide. That helps a lot when you're drilling holes, trying to get nice and perfect holes. That laser guide's really nice. Got my drill bits here. There's actually a couple of sets of drill bits there. This doesn't move, and this almost doesn't move. This is the disc sander and belt sander that I've been using. This came from Harbor Freight. It is cheap. It gets the job done. I'm not real thrilled with it. It seems to wobble quite a bit, even when I'm holding it, so I can't get a good grip on anything. So precision is not what this is suited for, but it gets the job done most of the time. Now, if I have to use this extensively, I have to take this down, and if I use this moves anyway. So you can see everything's packed in here pretty tight right now because I haven't been using a lot of this stuff. Now we get into the spindle sander, and I'm sure you've seen this before. I did a video heavily focused on this, making my thickness sander for it, which is underneath the table here. But if I'm going to use this, I have to take it off of this desk. That's what I've got this table in the center for. I take this down and put it over there. Right now it's holding guitar parts, so that's my multi-purpose table. So this is a really nice thing. I really enjoy this. The spindle sander works really well, this rigid one. The dust collection leaves a little bit to be desired, but beyond that, it's really nice. It works really well for me. And then next to this is the newest addition to this selection of tools is this bandsaw here. It's a little 3-wheeler bandsaw. I think it's a Craftsman. This is the other grandpa of mine gave to me. And I've not got it quite set up yet. You can see the blade is still clamped on. I had to get a new blade for it. And it's not quite set up yet. Which it'll be really nice when this is set up. Because as of yet, every cut I have made has been by hand with a handsaw. So it'll be nice to get this going. Here you can see it. Then as we work our way into the corner, we have my tower of clamps. Those are homemade. Those aren't homemade by me, but I did, those came with a bunch of other stuff that I bought, quite a few months ago. So those are homemade clamps. We got a couple of C clamps, a couple of the F-style clamps, the deep throat ones that I use for gluing bridges on, and then quite a few much larger F-style clamps, a couple of these ones. Then we kind of get into the corner here. This big box here is a kit guitar that I haven't finished. It's sitting background to 100 other things, which everything is at this point. We can zoom out a little bit more. Here's the shop vac I use for basically anything I need a vacuum in here for. I've got couplers and hookups, so it'll connect to anything, and it'll connect to that or that. I don't think anything else has dust collection, but I'll use it for the spindle sander and I'll use it for the disc sander, and it works really good for that. And it also has worked really great for keeping dust off the floor. Since I backed up here, we can talk about what's underneath here. So there's a disc sander I haven't used. There's where I keep the thickness sander that I built. It's still working pretty good. I do have upgrades for this. A very nice viewer sent me some plastic, some of the high density plastic, the kind of white stuff they make cutting boards out of, which I do plan on adapting into there. That's something I need to get to, and it probably won't be long, and I'll get that done. Underneath that, you can see there's this cardboard box, this box, this box, and this box down here. All of that is instrument wood. There's probably 20 bodies of instrument wood in there. Well, maybe not that many, but there's quite a few. It's tops and backs and sides. There's a ton of rosewood in there. There's a bunch of Sitka spruce tops, mahogany backs and sides. There's a lot of guitar wood right in there, which for right now is just sitting there. So we'll kind of come to my middle table here. This is where I put the spindle sander if I have to use it, or probably will be the bandsaw as well if I have to use it. Right now it's holding some guitar parts. This is a guitar that we've been refinishing. I say we, I mean me and Troy. You've seen Troy's build. This is actually his. We've been working on refinishing it. I've got to take all this purple off. We're starting over, kind of like that one. This was hanging on this wall here. You can see where it was. I've just got some guitar parts hanging. That neck goes with that guitar. That neck goes to another project guitar, which is less important. This guitar is in the same set as the True Tone, the Kalamazoo Archtop, and the Yamaha 12-string. This belongs to the same person, and this will be a cool thing once I get it up and going. You can see, I think this was made by Vox. It's missing a neck. It's got all these switches for all these built-in effects, which is kind of gimmicky, but honestly, I think it's pretty cool. It's cool in a gimmicky kind of fashion, but it's pretty dirty. It needs cleaned up, and it's missing a huge portion. This is the Kirk Hammett neck that goes with the body that's on my desk. So if we come back to working our way around the room, we got all the tools, the kit guitar, the shop vac. Then I have this big curtain. Back there is all storage. Because I'm in the basement of my house, this is all storage for our house. A lot of the stuff that's back there came out of here, and my more studio-ish area over there. So I just put a curtain up to kind of keep that separate so it's not showing off all of our junk in the videos. Also, it keeps it a lot warmer down here because back there is unfinished, whereas in here we have drywall and a ceiling and floor. So then we get to my white cabinet here, and I keep supplies and extra bits in there. Anything that's extra usually goes in there. If I don't need it very often, it goes in there. I've got this shelf here with instrument wood on top, some instrument wood over here. This is all scrap wood. There's a ton of fret wire I have that I forgot that I had. So I've got fret wire out the wazoo. I've got a bunch of Paduke down here. Bits and pieces of stuff that doesn't exactly go to anything, and I may not use very often, but it's sitting over here. You can see here, as we move on, I've got a hanger on this door for a big yardstick, metal yardstick. It's pretty nice. The broom to kind of keep the floor a little bit cleaner, and I've got an apron I've been trying to wear to keep myself from getting quite so dirty. That door leads to the furnace room. You could probably hear it kick on just a little bit ago because it's right behind that wall. You can see it's kind of up in there. So as we move on, this table's a little bit of a mess because I've started trying to organize this stuff. I just bought this bin system. It came from Harbor Freight. I really, really like it. I really needed it. When you have just too much stuff, it helps get everything organized, and that's my biggest problem, is I've just got so much stuff that I need relatively often, and so to have it all there, and stuff that makes sense, like here's a bunch of writing utensils, here's a bunch of wedges, these are sharp things, this is for doing crowning frets. So it's really easy to go, oh, I need some wedges, so I can either just take the whole thing or I can take a handful. This has been really nice. So that's that. If I zoom out a little bit and try not to run into my desk, which is right behind me, there's bits and pieces underneath the table. There's a side bender. Those are router bits, spool clamps, boxes of things. This guitar here will be the next, will be How to Make a Cheap Guitar Play Better Part 2. It's one of those other upcoming projects. I've gotten a lot of great comments and suggestions for what people want to see for How to Make a Cheap Guitar Play Better Part 2. There's a lot of ones on electric guitars, and I was not prepared for that. So there will probably be a Part 3, which will be electric guitars. But Part 2 will be this one here. This has no label. I think it was made in Korea. This came from another grandpa, or this was another grandpa give. I really like this guitar. It sounds really good, but there's a lot of things that say it's on the cheaper range. We'll talk about that more in that's own video. And that's just about it for the shop. We spin around and we're back to my desk here, and there's the Marshall I use for testing electrics, which has only been used once maybe. But if I get back here far enough, you can see there's the whole shop. That's it. I mean, that's really all I need for just me. It's not big enough for some of the bigger tools I will end up needing. If you've watched Troy's guitar build, we were at my lake house, and I have a table saw and a full-size bandsaw and a big air compressor and a big double disc sander. I've got lots of great tools, but none of them are going to fit in here. So this is what our setup is right now. So some of the stuff I've been asked to do a couple of jobs that there's no way I can get them done with cutting things by hand or without the big disc sander or without the table saw. So I try to only take things I think I can actually get done. That's one of those things that I, in my couple of months here, I try to only take on projects I think I can actually take. And speaking of projects I think I can only actually take, I think I need a little bit more explanation here. So we are in the basement of my house. I've talked about that before. And because of that, I try to discourage walk-in work. I will gladly take anything shipped in if I can do the job. But I've tried to discourage walk-in work, and I'll show you why here in a minute. As we back up here, we turn into what's the family room of the basement. It's also where I record the endings of my videos. You'll see I record on that wall usually. I've got a couple of guitars hanging. I usually record on this wall. I'll change out what's hung if I feel like it, but it's been the black 12 string and the black dobro for quite a while now. We'll do a more thorough walkthrough of my kind of studio area in the future, but the reason I try to discourage walk-in work is that that's my house. I live up there, and I don't really feel comfortable with strangers coming in and, you know, having to do this staircase. It's a kind of a liability thing, and it's my house, and there's not a walk-in down here, so I try to keep it fairly limited to what I want, you know, people walking through my house. Once we're in a new shop, the shop that we're building, it'll be totally different, and, you know, maybe we'll go take a look at that today. Maybe not. We're running a little long here. But, you know, once that's done, I'd be glad to take anybody coming in to visit. But for right now, since we're in my house, in the basement, and all, down all the stairs, I'm a little worried about having people coming through. I thought I'd show. So this is my rack of stuff that needs worked on. The True Tone is here. It's pretty much done. The 12 string I just did here is done. I've been talking to this customer. I think he's interested in going ahead with a neck reset, so you'll have that to look forward to. There's the Kalamazoo. It's done. This is my Mexican-made Martin. It's needs work. I haven't looked at it much. And then there's the guitar I built. Well, I'm in the process of building. If you want to see, part 1 is actually out on my Patreon. I'm not really going to start releasing parts on the regular channel until I start putting finish on that, because I don't want to get 11 parts in and part 12 be a 4-month gap while I'm trying to do finish. But this is my shop. You know, I think we'll probably go take a quick look at where the new shop will be to give you some idea how far along I am with that. And then I'll come back here and we'll wrap this up. So you'll have to forgive me, it's a little windy out today, but this will be my shop eventually. It's about 100 yards from the house, maybe a little more than that, but it needs quite a bit of work. You can see we still got gravel floors, and it is full of stuff. So we're going to concrete the floors, and we got lots of insulation to do and redo all the electrical, lots of cleanup. I'm a ways off of getting this done, but that's the goal. I'll try to, this is really what I want to try to keep updated in the monthly updates, is where we're at with this and where we're at with upcoming projects. I think this is going to be really neat once we get it to a shop. We've got somebody lined up for concrete. We really just got to get a lot of this stuff cleaned up. You can see there's quite a few toys in here, you might say. The old Ford tractor, the John Deere, the Bobcat excavator, a couple 4-wheelers, lots of stuff in here we got to get cleaned up. So it's gonna be my shop eventually. We just got to get there. So with a little costume change, we're back here for the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this little shop update, shop tour sort of thing. I'm going to try to be getting these out monthly, as I've said. If there's something you'd like to see, if there's something you'd like me to talk about, if there's some questions you want me to answer, just put them in the comments. I will try to get to them. It may be a little while, but I'll be watching. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.